So, welcome back to the Hardcore Hotline. Today we are talking to Sid Jagger from Her Head's on Fire and probably a bunch of other bands that we've never heard of. How are you,
Exactly.
Sid?
I'm good. How are you?
I am so good. So amazing. So, Sad, I'm a little confused because I'm looking at our hardcore database and I don't see your band listed here. Why is that? Did we like make a mistake? Are there any X's in the name that we may have missed, or what's going on there?
I don't think so. I just think maybe we're not very hardcore.
Okay, well, we are the dumping ground for any iodine band who can't get any other interviews. So happy to have you here. I'm sure the feelings are incredibly mutual.
Very happy to be here. I love your work.
Thank you. Okay, it's not something we hear very often, but we'll take it. We
Of course.
will. Okay. So, Sid, you have been making music for a very long time. Um,
Extremely.
Extremely long time. We don't like to think about time so much because it makes us sad. But can you give us a condensed version of your journey that led you to Her Head's on Fire?
Sure. I was a touring musician for a long time, and in 2012, one of my bands was on tour with another band, and we got along like a house on fire and decided to start a new band, and that is this band.
Wow.
My
Lots of bands, so much friendship, so much
mm,
friendship.
mhm.
You were part of other bands. Which of those music projects was your least favorite and why? And please make sure to give us details, incredibly salacious details, names,
Instruct
everything.
Instruction was my least favorite. I joined a band that was on Geffen Records, and the band itself was really fun, and but the experiences of being part of the sort of major label Geffen world was not enjoyable. And seeing that side of we did a lot of foolish tours with like Corn and Puddle of Mud and Papa Roach and
Corn.
things like that. The
Wow.
the one and only with the backwards R. Yeah.
We remember seeing Corn when we were impressionable 13-year-old and we didn't quite know what the lyrics were.
Mm.
That was an interesting day when we got the internet and looked up lyrics and realized I don't think these men like women. You're on iodine now, so what would you say are, I mean, there's obvious differences, but what is the most interesting difference between,
Oh
Geffen and then iodine?
well, I think Iodine's actually heard the record, so that's a big difference. um,
They might have. I
maybe.
mean, he sounds like he might know the bands that are on his label, but I can't be too certain.
Yeah, but you can just look at our past ex-member band list and say it probably sounds like this, and I'm sure he could say very quickly, "Oh, I listened to it, it's great." But yeah, no, Geffen it's very much a machine, and you're part of a machine. And I never felt like anyone, with the exception of one person at the label, actually liked the band or cared about what was happening. Everybody else, it was just like that whole LA, like, yeah, man, totally. Let's do some more Coke. It's going to be awesome. And it was fine. It was an experience. And
Yeah.
I was new to it. So it's not like I knew what it was going to be. But
Mhm.
in retrospect, it was a lot of wasted time.
Do you feel like now that you are able to be out of that big label kind of shadow, that you maybe, I don't know, learned to play your instruments better or wrote better songs? I've listened to a couple of things. I can't say that that's true, but do you feel that way?
No, I think that if I was better at writing songs, I would probably be on a better record label.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. I'm gonna send that sound clip
Oh, good.
straight
Yeah.
to Casey. He will
No,
love that.
it's
Yeah.
it's not true.
Love those double negatives.
Thank you.
So, okay, so let's more talk about Her Head's on Fire. You said that it's made of members of different bands, and you guys just decided, why not? Uh, why did you decide to have yet another music project on your plates, or did you just get rid of the old ones and say, this is the new one? This is what I'm going to do
Yeah,
now?
this is kind of the new one. I mean, I think we all sort of, have different things as we go along that every sort of band has a lifetime and it runs its course, right? And so
Mm,
um some are longer than others and some are more
Yeah.
enjoyable than others. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Some
Yeah.
bands have been around for a little too long. They can
Yeah.
stop now. They can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So and then they'll come out with like one record that people like, and then it'll just keep flogging that dead horse. I've
Yeah.
never been one to do that. None of my bands have lasted more than two full lengths. So either I'm not the kind of person other people want to be in a band with, or maybe I just get bored and want to change things up.
Wow. Maybe you should find like if there's Tinder for bands. I don't know how many of the bands hold up fish in their pictures though, but
Do people do that?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
they do for sure. Men
Okay.
love to hold up pictures of their fish.
There's many reasons I'm not on that. Thank you
Yeah,
for confirming them.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I think for the guys, if you're looking for a woman, I think you're only gonna find bots, which could be fun. It's like a little taste of the future. Anyway, so with your current band, let's get down to business. Who isn't pulling their weight in the band? And if you could get rid of anybody, who would it be? And it
Me.
can't be no one. It's you. Wow.
It would be
Okay.
me because I'm the singer. I'm the singer in this band. It's the only band I've ever just been the singer in, and therefore I intentionally. It's quite literally. I don't pull my weight. I don't carry gear.
That we have seen loadout from many bands, and the
Hmm.
singers just watch.
I think I've earned it at this point. You know, I think I've earned it.
Yeah, yeah. Would love to ask your band members if they think the same way.
The thing is, you could, but band members that aren't singers don't really get interviewed, so you
It's
probably won't.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Have
sorry,
we?
guys.
Have we talked to anyone who isn't a singer?
Well, I'm sure you did, but I doubt anybody watched it.
I do have to say that I love the name of the new LP. It has such a vivid imagery for anyone over the age of 45, which is definitely not us. We're very young and very cool. I do appreciate that trip down memory lane for those of us that are old, unlike
Hmm.
us. Why did you decide why did you decide to give it that name? Was it because it was just nostalgia for you and it was a very vivid moment of most people's time in like
I,
a
I'm glad.
1986 Toyota Corolla maybe?
I'm glad it resonates with a piece of you that can imagine being older than 45. Um, it's yeah, college rock and clove cigarettes. In the 80s, I listened to a lot of postmodern, left of the dial stuff, and college rock is what it was called, right? And clove cigarettes were the things that everybody smoked to make their lips taste like sugar.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like the name of it, as soon as you see it, you know what you're going to listen to. So you can make a split second decision if you're going
Hmm.
to listen to it or not. Personally, I wouldn't. I've been around for a long time,
Hmm.
such a long time, like an eerily long time.
Mm.
And I know that a lot of bands that have been working on things the last couple of years, they love to blame the pandemic. The pandemic is the reason why things are not going well. But when it came to making music and putting out albums and touring and everything like that, do you think it had an impact on your projects, or do you think that that's just a convenient excuse for why things aren't going very well for you?
No, that's definitely not. I mean, because then there would have had to have been a pandemic for decades, to excuse that away. So no, I can't point to the pandemic personally. It was a thing that happened and it affected us, but that's not why my life's in the toilet. So,
Well, that
or
is
my
very
musical
honest.
career at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of your life has a different excuse. It could be any number of things.
Well, with hardcore, aren't we all young forever?
It does seem that way.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
Flogging that dead horse.
If you've ever gone to a hardcore show, This Is Hardcore was just happening. If you saw the videos, there were so many old guys trying desperately in the pit to relive their young days, and it was so adorable and not sad at all.
I think adorable is a great word for it. That's never quite made sense to me. I don't know. I cannot imagine that anyone over the age of 30 is hearing this music and feeling it so intensely that they have to respond the way they physically respond. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't resonate with me. But it seems more of a youth culture thing where if you're 18, hell yes, I believe it. But if you're 38, maybe a little bit more therapy.
Yeah, yeah, it's not Woodstock 1999.
Oh,
Full of the angriest men
oh,
in the world.
it was just one long date rape. That whole thing. It was so horrible.
It sure was. And not to get off topic, but gosh, watching that on MTV and
Oh,
just seeing it go downhill as a youngster and thinking, is this what I have to look forward to when I get older and go to music festivals?
I
And
just
then you go to Warp Tour.
I never would go. I've never been to Warped Tour. No, that's not true. I actually went with Casey once and handed out CD samplers, but I never went inside. Um, I don't
You're
think
just
there's.
the guys outside, like, hey
Yeah,
kid,
yeah. Hey, kid,
you like Blink 182?
you're obviously a sucker. You're a Warped Tour. Listen to this shit. But your dignity is priceless, and you'll never get it back. Yeah, I don't know that whole thing. Festivals, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the Woodstock 99 thing seemed just so unbelievably contrived and a money grab, and everything about it was just disingenuous. I cannot imagine anyone with any modicum of taste. You get a pass if you're under 20, I guess, and you just fell for it. But I can't understand why anyone would have been there otherwise.
So, speaking of festivals, and I know that our callers have likely noticed that there are 10 million festivals this year.
Hmm.
How many of those festivals do you think are genuine, run by people who love the music and really want to get back to pre-COVID times? And how many of them do you think are thinking, gosh, these people haven't been to a concert in 2 years. I'll give them 20 concerts in one.
I don't know because I'm not invited to play any fest, so I've never met anybody on this. So
That's fair.
yeah,
I I I do have to say that is a little surprising because it seems like there is a festival for everything. Um, but maybe next year.
maybe the geriatric crowd is more my style.
Elderly Con 2022.
If I could make it happen, I'd make it happen.
Get
You know,
Tori Amos on there.
I fucking love Tori Amos. I own more Tori Amos and Ani DeFranco records than the Descendants, Minor Threat, Black Flag, Slayer, and Metallica combined.
We
That's
can't
just
get on
true.
your case about that. We desperately wish that you had said the opposite so that we could accuse you of hypermasculinity, but instead
Oh.
we have to move on. All right, fine. So if someone did call us, which
Hmm.
happens all the time, but if they called us and specifically asked why they should listen to your new album, did I say what the new album was called? I can't
I didn't.
remember.
You talked about it, but you didn't say it out loud.
I didn't. It was like a secret.
Hmm.
Um, go ahead and tell our listeners
It's
what it is
called
called.
College Rock and Clove Cigarettes.
Very good. Yes, that
Yes,
is the name of your album. Thank you
it
for
is.
remembering that. We just wanted it to be a mystery. We wanted people to be on the edge of their seats. Like, what is this called?
It's going to be such a mystery because I think only 5 people watch this podcast.
I think so. Yeah. Is it five? But if someone called us and they said, "Why should we listen to this album?" I wouldn't have an answer. But can you give us an answer that we can give them?
It's loud and there's guitars and there's bass and their drums. So it's like everything you've heard before.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Perfect. I don't know any of our callers who don't just want simple guitar, bass, and something that they could be angry with. So hopefully
Mm.
they get that from you. If they're not going to be angry because of the lyrics, maybe they'll be angry because they don't like it. Either way,
Or the tempos. They might be angry about the
they
tempos.
could be angry. Hardcore is built on being angry and complaining, so we can't wait for those phone calls. Do you want to let us know anything that's going on soon with Her Head's on Fire? Any tours, any merch, anything like that that we can, pretend to be very intrigued by?
We're playing a couple shows with a band called Saves the Day. Um,
Saves the Day.
yeah.
We have heard of that
So
band.
there you go. And The
There we
Color
go.
Fred and No Motive. And that'll be fun. And then I think we're going down to Fest. Actually, I lied. We are playing one Fest. It's Fest in Gainesville, but I think we're going down there with Jonah from One Line Drawing and Joe from Smoker Fire. So
Hmm.
that should be a
Hmm.
good time, I think, I hope. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have a split 7 inch coming out with a band called Pilot the Gunner.
Thank you so much for coming on to the Hardcore Hotline, Sid.
Sure.
I know it wasn't of your own free will, and I appreciate that. So, callers, you can pre-order a copy of College Rock and Clove Cigarettes. And when I say callers, yes, I do mean all three of you. This record is by Her Head's on Fire through Iodine Records, so maybe pick it up and be angry about it. Thanks so much.